First contact and covert observation. The vast expanse of space had never felt so small to Dr. Zixala as she peered through the viewscreen of the galactic research vessel Curiosity. Her tentacles quivered with excitement, causing ripples across her gelatinous form. After decades of searching, they had finally found it, a planet teeming with intelligent life, hidden away in an unremarkable arm of the Milky Way galaxy. Captain Krell, we're receiving the first clear images of the planet's surface, chirped Lieutenant Vex, his antennae twitching as data streamed across his console. Captain Krell, a towering insectoid with iridescent wings folded neatly behind her carapace, leaned forward. Display them, Lieutenant. The viewscreen flickered to life, revealing a blue and green orb swirling with white clouds. As the image zoomed in, the alien crew gasped in collective astonishment. Sprawling cities, vast networks of roads, and clear signs of advanced technology covered significant portions of the planet's surface. Dr. Zixela's voice wavered with emotion. It's beautiful and terrifying. Do you realize what this means, Captain? Captain Krell's mandibles clicked thoughtfully. Indeed, we've discovered a Class 12 Deathworld species that's not only survived but thrived. The Galactic Council will want to know immediately. With all due respect, Captain, Dr. Zixela interjected, her form pulsing with intensity. I believe we should observe them further before reporting back. This is an unprecedented opportunity for research. Captain Krell considered the scientist's words. It was true. No other known species had managed to evolve sentience on a planet as hostile as this one. The gravity alone should have crushed them, not to mention the extreme temperature variations and volatile weather patterns. Very well, Doctor. You have one standard cycle for preliminary observations, but we maintain strict non-interference protocols. Understood. Dr. Zixela's body rippled with joy. Absolutely, Captain. You won't regret this. As the Curiosity settled into a stealth orbit, the research team began their work in earnest. They deployed microsatellites disguised as space debris, set up long-range scanning equipment, and began the arduous task of deciphering the planet's many languages and cultures. Days turned into weeks as the alien researchers became increasingly fascinated by the species they now knew called themselves humans. Dr. Zixela found herself particularly drawn to a small coastal city named New Harbor, where she focused much of her attention. Look at this, she exclaimed one day, calling her team to her station. They've built massive structures to protect their coastal settlements from rising water levels. The engineering is ingenious. Lieutenant Vex peered at the data. Impressive, but surely a species smart enough to build such defenses would be smart enough to avoid living in dangerous areas altogether. Dr. Zixela's form rippled with what her colleagues had come to recognize as laughter. That's what makes them so fascinating, Vex. They don't just survive their death world. They challenge it at every turn. As the observation continued, the research team discovered countless examples of human resilience and ingenuity. They marveled at the species' ability to adapt to almost any environment, from scorching deserts to frigid tundras. They watched in awe as humans routinely survived accidents and illnesses that would have been fatal to most known species. But it was the day-to-day life in New Harbor that truly captured Dr. Zixela's attention. She found herself drawn to the story of one particular human, Sarah Chen, a young engineer working on the city's seawall project. Through their covered observation devices, Dr. Zixela watched as Sarah navigated the complexities of human social structures, balancing her demanding job with personal relationships and individual pursuits. The alien researcher was particularly fascinated by Sarah's resilience in the face of setbacks, both professional and personal. Captain, Dr. Zixela reported as their observation cycle neared its end. I believe we've only scratched the surface of understanding this species. Their physical resilience is remarkable, yes, but it's their mental and emotional fortitude that truly sets them apart. Captain Krell's compound eyes focused on the scientist. Explain. They face constant challenges, both from their environment and from each other. Yet they persist. They create art, music, literature. They form deep emotional bonds. They dream of exploring the stars, despite being trapped on their death world. It's inspiring. As she spoke, alarms suddenly blared across the ship. Lieutenant Vex's antennae stood straight up in alarm. "Captain, we're detecting a massive geological disturbance in the New Harbor region." The view screen shifted to show a horrifying sight. A massive earthquake was tearing through the city, toppling buildings and sending tsunamis crashing against the very seawalls Sarah Chen had helped design. "By the cosmic egg," Captain Krell breathed. "Surely nothing could survive that." Dr. Zixella watched in horror as the disaster unfolded, her thoughts with Sarah and the thousands of humans facing nature's fury. Part of her wanted to intervene, to use their advanced technology to save these fascinating creatures. But she knew they couldn't risk contaminating the species' natural development. As the dust settled and the waters receded, the alien crew prepared themselves for scenes of total devastation. But what they saw next would change their understanding of humanity forever. "Captain," Lieutenant Vex reported, his voice filled with disbelief. "You need to see this." The view screen zoomed in on the battered city. Among the ruins, humans were already emerging. They were bloodied, shocked, and grieving. But they were alive. And more than that, they were immediately starting to help each other. Dr. Zixella watched in awe as Sarah Chen, limping but determined, organized a group of survivors to search for those trapped in the rubble. All across the city, similar scenes were playing out. Humans, faced with unimaginable destruction, were picking themselves up and fighting back against their death world once again. "Incredible," Captain Krell murmured. "Dr. Zixella, I believe your request for extended observation will be granted. The Galactic Council needs to know everything about these humans." As the Curiosity continued its silent vigil above the Earth, its crew watched with growing admiration as humanity began the long process of rebuilding. They had come seeking to understand how a species could survive on a death world. They were discovering instead how a species could thrive, not in spite of adversity, but because of it. The story of humanity was far from over, and the alien researchers were now irrevocably part of it. As New Harbor slowly came back to life, Dr. Zixella knew that the true revelations were only just beginning. The accident and miraculous recovery. Weeks had passed since the devastating earthquake that had rocked New Harbor. The alien research team aboard the Curiosity had watched in fascination as the humans below demonstrated an almost supernatural ability to bounce back from disaster. But nothing could have prepared them for what they were about to witness. Dr. Zixella's gelatinous form quivered with anticipation as she focused the ship's advanced sensors on Sarah Chen. The young engineer had become something of an inspiration to the alien scientist, epitomizing the resilience and determination that seemed to define humanity. "Dr. Zixella," Captain Krell's mandibles clicked softly as she entered the observation deck. "Any new developments?" "Indeed, Captain," Dr. Zixella replied, her voice tinged with excitement. "Sarah Chen has been working tirelessly on a new seawall design. It's remarkable. They're not just rebuilding. They're improving, adapting." Captain Krell's compound eyes reflected the holographic display of New Harbor's coastline. Fascinating. These humans seemed to view every setback as an opportunity for growth. Their conversation was interrupted by a sudden alarm from Lieutenant Vex's station. "Captain, Doctor, there's been an accident at the construction site." The ship's main view screen flickered to life, showing a chaotic scene at the seawall project. A section of scaffolding had collapsed, and among the twisted metal and concrete, they could see a familiar figure trapped and unconscious. "It's Sarah Chen," Dr. Zixella exclaimed, her form rippling with distress. "Captain, we have to do something." Captain Krell's carapace darkened, a sign of her species' equivalent of a frown. "You know we can't intervene, Doctor. The non-interference protocol is absolute." Dr. Zixella knew the captain was right, but it didn't make watching any easier. The alien crew observed in tense silence as human emergency responders rushed to the scene. They worked with a coordinated efficiency that impressed even the technologically advanced aliens. "Look at their determination," Lieutenant Vex noted, his antennae twitching with excitement. "It's as if they're fighting against their very planet for every life." After what seemed like an eternity, the rescue team finally extracted Sarah from the wreckage. Dr. Zixala's sensors indicated massive internal injuries, broken bones, and severe blood loss. By all accounts, Sarah Chen should not have survived. "Quick, focus on their medical facility," Captain Krell ordered, her scientific curiosity overriding her usual stoic demeanor. The view screen shifted to the interior of New Harbor General Hospital. The alien observers watched in amazement as a team of human doctors and nurses worked feverishly to save Sarah's life. Their techniques seemed primitive compared to galactic standards, yet there was an artistry to their work that bordered on the miraculous. "Fascinating," Dr. Zixala murmured. "They're not just treating her injuries, they're coaxing her body to heal itself. It's as if they're working in partnership with their own biology." Days turned into weeks as Sarah Chen lay in the hospital, hovering between life and death. The alien research team took shifts, monitoring her progress around the clock. They marveled at the constant stream of visitors, family, friends, and even strangers inspired by her story, all lending their support and energy to her recovery. "I don't understand," Lieutenant Vex said one day, his voice filled with confusion. "By all accounts, she should have succumbed to her injuries long ago. What's keeping her alive?" Dr. Zixala's form pulsed thoughtfully. "I have a theory," she said slowly. "It's not just her individual resilience. It's as if the collective will of her species is somehow strengthening her. The social bonds, the emotional support, it's all contributing to her healing process." Captain Krell chittered in agreement. "These humans are full of surprises. They seem to draw strength from adversity in a way I've never seen before." As if to prove their point, Sarah Chen's vital signs suddenly stabilized. Over the next few days, the alien observers watched in awe as she regained consciousness and began the long, arduous process of rehabilitation. "Incredible," Dr. Zixala breathed. "She's not just surviving. She's fighting to thrive again." The research team observed Sarah's recovery with rapt attention. They watched as she struggled through physical therapy, gritting her teeth against the pain. They saw her working on blueprints from her hospital bed, determined to complete her seawall project despite her injuries. "Do you see that look in her eyes?" Captain Krell asked, zooming in on Sarah's face. "That's not just determination. It's defiance, as if she's challenging her very mortality." Dr. Zixala's form rippled in agreement. "It's not just her, Captain. Look at the others." The view screen expanded to show more of the hospital. In every room, similar scenes were playing out. Humans of all ages and backgrounds were fighting against injuries and illnesses that would have been fatal to most known species. It's as if their entire species has evolved to say no to death, Lieutenant Vex observed, his antennae quivering with excitement. As weeks turned into months, Sarah Chen's recovery continued to defy all expectations. The alien research team watched in amazement as she not only regained her health, but returned to her work with renewed vigor. "Captain," Dr. Zixala said one day, her voice filled with a mix of awe and concern, "I believe we need to reassess our understanding of human physiology. Their healing abilities, they're beyond anything we've ever encountered." Captain Krell's compound eyes focused intently on the scientist. "What are you suggesting, Doctor?" I think we need to conduct more direct studies, controlled experiments to truly understand the limits of human resilience." A heavy silence fell over the observation deck. They all knew the implications of such a proposal. It would mean potentially violating their non-interference protocol, risking exposure, and venturing into ethically murky waters. "This is a serious proposal, Dr. Zixala," Captain Krell said finally. "One that will require careful consideration and planning." As the Curiosity continued its silent orbit around Earth, Its crew found themselves at a crossroads. They had come to study a Deathworld species, but they were discovering something far more profound. The humans below were not just survivors. They were conquerors of their own mortality. The story of Sarah Chen's miraculous recovery was just the beginning. As Dr. Zixela and her team prepared to delve deeper into the mysteries of human resilience, they knew they were on the brink of discoveries that could change the course of galactic history. But at what cost? And were they truly prepared for what they might find? The next phase of their mission would push the boundaries of their research, their ethics, and their understanding of life itself. As they looked down at the blue planet below, teeming with its indomitable inhabitants, one thing was certain: nothing would ever be the same again. Escalating experiments and ethical dilemmas. The observation deck of the Curiosity was unusually tense as Captain Krell called the research team together. Dr. Zixela's proposal to conduct more direct studies on human physiology had sparked a heated debate among the crew. "We've gathered here to discuss Dr. Zixela's proposal," Captain Krell began, her mandibles clicking solemnly. "The potential knowledge we could gain is immense, but so are the risks." I opened the floor for discussion. Lieutenant Vex was the first to speak, his antennae twitching nervously. "With all due respect, Doctor, are we not overstepping our bounds? Our mission was to observe, not interfere." Dr. Zixela's gelatinous form pulsed with intensity. "I understand your concerns, Vex, but consider what we've witnessed. Sarah Chen's recovery defies everything we know about biology. If we could understand how humans heal, think of the benefits to the entire galaxy." The debate raged on, with valid points raised on both sides. The ethical implications of experimenting on an uncontacted species weighed heavily against the potential medical breakthroughs that could save countless lives across the galaxy. Finally, Captain Krell raised a limb for silence. "We will proceed with caution," she declared. "Dr. Zixela, you have permission to begin limited experiments, but we must establish strict protocols to minimize our impact and risk of discovery." And so began a new phase of the alien research mission, one that would push the boundaries of their scientific understanding and their ethical principles. Dr. Zixela and her team started with passive experiments, using their advanced technology to scan humans at a cellular level during various activities. They observed the incredible efficiency of the human immune system, the remarkable plasticity of the human brain, and the astounding ability of human tissue to regenerate. "Look at this," Dr. Zixela exclaimed one day, her form rippling with excitement. "Their cells seem to have a memory of their optimal state. Even when damaged, they strive to return to that ideal form." But as fascinating as these observations were, they only scratched the surface of human resilience. The research team found themselves wanting more, pushing the boundaries of their non-interference protocols. They began by introducing minor environmental changes, slightly increasing the gravity in localized areas, subtly altering air composition, even inducing small-scale weather phenomena. The humans, true to form, adapted to each challenge with remarkable speed. "It's as if adversity fuels them," Lieutenant Vex noted, watching a group of humans navigate a suddenly foggy morning with ease. "The more we throw at them, the stronger they seem to become." As the experiments escalated, so did the ethical dilemmas. The research team found themselves grappling with increasingly difficult questions. How far was too far? At what point did scientific curiosity become cruel manipulation? The turning point came when Dr. Zixela proposed a more direct experiment. "If we could isolate a small group of humans," she suggested, her voice tinged with both excitement and apprehension, "we could test the true limits of their physiological adaptability." The proposal sent shockwaves through the crew. Captain Krell's carapace darkened considerably. "You're suggesting abduction, Doctor. That's a clear violation of our most sacred protocols." "I know," Dr. Zixela replied, her form undulating with conflicting emotions. "But think of what we could learn. We could simulate extreme environments, test their resistance to diseases unknown on Earth. We could unlock the secrets of their incredible resilience." The ship erupted into chaos as the crew argued passionately. Some sided with Dr. Zixala, seduced by the potential for groundbreaking discoveries. Others were vehemently opposed, arguing that such actions were not only unethical but dangerous. What if they're more advanced than we realize? One crew member chittered. What if this triggers a violent response? As the debate raged on, a sobering realization began to dawn on the alien researchers. In their quest to understand human resilience, they were at risk of losing their own moral compass. Captain Krell, sensing the growing tension, made a difficult decision. All experiments beyond passive observation are hereby suspended, she declared, her voice cutting through the arguments. We will return to our original mission parameters. The announcement was met with a mix of relief and frustration. Dr. Zixela's form deflated slightly, but she knew in her core that the captain was right. Perhaps, Captain Krell continued, her compound eyes scanning the crew. We have been approaching this all wrong. We sought to understand human resilience by testing their limits, but in doing so, we nearly compromised our own principles. A thoughtful silence fell over the observation deck. The captain's words had struck a chord with the alien researchers. They had been so focused on the physical aspects of human resilience that they had overlooked something far more fundamental. Their strength, Dr. Zixala said slowly, her scientific curiosity giving way to a deeper understanding. It doesn't come from their biology alone. It's their spirit, their unwavering determination in the face of adversity. We can't quantify that in a lab. As if to underscore her point, the main view screen flickered to life, showing scenes from New Harbor. Sarah Chen, now fully recovered, was leading a team in the final stages of the improved seawall project. All around the city, humans were going about their lives, facing challenges both great and small with that unique blend of grit and adaptability that had so captivated the alien observers. Look at them, Lieutenant Vex said softly, his antennae drooping in a gesture of respect. They don't need our experiments to prove their strength. They demonstrate it every day, simply by living on their death world. The mood on the Curiosity shifted as the crew gained a new perspective on their mission. They realized that true understanding of humanity wouldn't come from detached experiments, but from continued observation and a growing appreciation for the complexity of human existence. As they watched the bustling life on the planet below, a new question began to form in their minds. If humans could accomplish so much on their harsh homeworld, what might they be capable of if they ever reached the stars? The alien researchers didn't know it yet, but events were already in motion that would bring humanity and the galactic community face to face sooner than anyone expected. The next phase of their mission would challenge everything they thought they knew about humans, about themselves, and about the very nature of resilience in the cosmos. As New Harbor glittered in the setting sun, its inhabitants blissfully unaware of the alien eyes upon them, the stage was set for a meeting that would change the course of galactic history forever. The Great Reveal. The Curiosity had been maintaining its cloaked orbit around Earth for months, its crew having settled into a rhythm of observation and analysis. But as any scientist knows, the universe has a way of appending even the best laid plans. It began with a seemingly innocuous anomaly. Sarah Chen, the resilient engineer who had captured the alien researchers' attention, was reviewing data from New Harbor's new atmospheric monitoring system when she noticed something odd. These readings don't make sense, she muttered to herself, her brow furrowed in concentration. It's as if there's a distortion in the upper atmosphere. Aboard the Curiosity, alarms suddenly blared to life. Lieutenant Vex's antennae stood rigid with alarm as he called out, "Captain, our cloaking field is fluctuating." Captain Krell rushed to the bridge, her compound eyes taking in the chaotic scene. "Cause? Unknown, Captain," Lieutenant Vex replied, his appendages flying over the control panels. "But it seems to be interfering with Earth's primitive satellite systems." Dr. Zixala's gelatinous form rippled with anxiety. "If they detect us," the captain's mandibles clicked decisively. "Initiate emergency protocols. Prepare for immediate." But it was too late. On Earth, Sarah Chen's eyes widened as her monitors lit up with unprecedented readings. "Oh my God," she breathed, reaching for her phone with trembling hands. "I need to call the authorities." Now, within hours, the news had spread like wildfire. Amateur astronomers confirmed the presence of an anomaly in Earth's orbit. Global defense systems went on high alert. Social media exploded with theories, ranging from the plausible to the absurd. Aboard the Curiosity, the mood was grim. "We've failed in our primary directive," Captain Krell stated, her voice heavy with disappointment. "The humans are aware of our presence." Dr. Zixella pulsed thoughtfully. Perhaps this was inevitable. A species as resourceful as humans was bound to detect us eventually. As the alien crew debated their next move, events on Earth were unfolding at a dizzying pace. World leaders convened in emergency sessions. Military forces around the globe mobilized, unsure whether to expect first contact or an invasion. In New Harbor, Sarah Chen found herself at the center of a media frenzy. "Ms. Chen, how did you first detect the anomaly? Do you believe this is evidence of alien life?" The questions came rapid fire, but Sarah maintained her composure, a testament to the resilience that had so fascinated the alien observers. "I can't speculate on the nature of the anomaly," she told the press, her voice steady despite the chaos around her. "But I can say this. Whatever it is, we'll face it the same way we've faced every challenge. Together, with determination and an open mind." Her words, broadcast globally, reached the Curiosity sensors. Dr. Zixella felt a surge of admiration. Even now, facing the unknown, they show such courage. Captain Krell made a decision. "We can't hide any longer. It's time to make official first contact." The next few hours were a blur of activity as the alien crew prepared for the most significant moment in their mission and in human history. They crafted messages of peace in every major Earth language, ready to broadcast them globally. But once again, the humans surprised them. As the Curiosity decloaked, fully revealing itself to Earth's sensors, they expected panic. Instead, they received a transmission from New Harbor. "Unknown vessel." Sarah Chen's voice came through, clear and unwavering. "This is Sarah Chen, representing the people of Earth. We welcome you in peace." A stunned silence fell over the Curiosity's bridge. Captain Krell was the first to recover. "Dr. Zixella, you've studied their languages. You should reply." Dr. Zixella's form quivered with a mix of excitement and trepidation as she activated the communication system. "People of Earth," she began, her words translated into multiple languages. "We come in peace and in the spirit of scientific inquiry." What followed was a conversation that would be remembered for generations on both Earth and in the wider galaxy. The alien researchers explained their mission, their fascination with human resilience, and their regret at the accidental revelation of their presence. To their amazement, the human response was not one of fear or anger, but of curiosity to match their own. Questions poured in from around the globe. How long had they been watching? What had they learned? What other life existed in the galaxy? "We have so many questions for you as well," Dr. Zixella told the rapt human audience. "Your species' ability to thrive on such a challenging world. It's remarkable. We've learned so much just by observing you." As the initial shock of first contact began to wear off, new challenges arose. Some humans demanded immediate access to alien technology. Others feared the implications of being observed without their knowledge. Global power structures were thrown into disarray as nations grappled with the reality of not being alone in the universe. But through it all, the same resilience that had first captured the alien researchers' attention shone through. Humans adapted to this new reality with astonishing speed, their innate curiosity overcoming their fears. Sarah Chen, who had become an unofficial ambassador in these early communications, summed it up best in a global address. "This is undoubtedly the greatest challenge our species has ever faced. But look at our history. We've survived ice ages, plagues, and disasters that should have wiped us out. We've split the atom, cured diseases, and sent our own spacecraft to the edges of our solar system. First contact isn't a threat. It's the opportunity we've been preparing for all along." Her words resonated not just with humans, but with the alien crew of the Curiosity as well. Captain Krell turned to Dr. Zixala, her compound eyes gleaming with a new light. "I think we've discovered something far more valuable than we ever anticipated, Doctor." Dr. Zixala's form pulsed in agreement. "Indeed, Captain. We came to study a species that could survive on a death world. Instead, we found a species ready to thrive among the stars." As the Curiosity prepared to make its historic descent to Earth for face-to-face meetings, the crew knew that the true journey was just beginning. The humans' resilience had not just helped them survive their harsh world, it had prepared them to face the greatest adventure of all, joining the galactic community. The story of humanity was about to enter a new chapter, one that would be written across the stars. And the alien researchers who had come to study found themselves eager students of the indomitable human spirit, bridging two worlds. The day the Curiosity landed on Earth was one that would be remembered for generations to come. In a gesture of trust and symbolism, the alien ship touched down in New Harbor, the very city where their inadvertent revelation had begun. As the ship's ramp lowered, humans from all walks of life held their breath. World leaders, scientists, and ordinary citizens watched via global broadcast as the alien researchers took their first steps on Earth's soil. Captain Krell led the way, her insectoid form glittering in the sunlight. Dr. Zixala followed, her gelatinous body undulating with excitement and nerves. Lieutenant Vex and the rest of the crew came after, each as diverse in form as the human crowd that had gathered to meet them. Dr. Zixala's form rippled with what Sarah had come to recognize as laughter. "And I never imagined we'd learn as much from you as you would from us. Your species continues to surprise us." As the days turned into weeks, and weeks into months, the relationship between humans and aliens deepened. The Curiosity's mission, once focused solely on observation, evolved into a mutual exchange of knowledge and culture. Human scientists worked alongside alien researchers, tackling challenges that had once seemed insurmountable. The resilience and adaptability that had allowed humanity to thrive on their death world proved to be invaluable traits as they began to explore the wider galaxy. But it wasn't just in the realms of science and technology that bridges were being built. Cultural exchanges flourished. Alien art forms found enthusiastic human audiences, while Earth's diverse cultures fascinated the galactic community. Human music, with its complex rhythms and emotional resonance, became a sensation across the stars. There were, of course, ongoing challenges. The introduction of alien concepts and technologies led to societal upheavals on Earth. Some humans struggled to adapt to the idea of being part of a larger cosmic community, and the galactic civilization grappled with the implications of integrating a species as dynamic and unpredictable as humanity. Yet through it all, the same spirit of resilience that had first captivated the alien researchers continued to shine. Humans face each new challenge with determination, creativity, and an unwavering belief in their ability to overcome. 1 year after the Curiosity's landing, a new ship prepared to launch from Earth. It was a joint human-alien venture, crewed by members of both species, destined to explore the farthest reaches of the galaxy. As the ship rose into the sky, Captain Krell and Dr. Zixala stood alongside Sarah Chen, watching it disappear into the stars. "You know," Captain Krell chittered, her compound eyes reflecting the fading rocket trail. "When we first arrived here, we thought we were studying a primitive species struggling to survive on a hostile world." "And now?" Sarah asked, a smile playing on her lips. Dr. Zixala's form pulsed with warmth. "Now we understand that your planet's challenges didn't limit you. They prepared you. Your resilience, your adaptability, your unyielding spirit in the face of adversity. These are the qualities that will make humanity a force for good in the galaxy." Sarah nodded, her gaze fixed on the stars that no longer seemed so distant. "We've got a lot to learn," she said, "but we're ready for the challenge." As night fell over New Harbor, the city that had become a symbol of human-alien cooperation, the three figures, human, insectoid, and gelatinous, stood in comfortable silence. They were no longer observer and observed, no longer separate species divided by the vastness of space. They were colleagues, friends, fellow explorers in the great cosmic adventure. The story of humanity's first steps into the galactic community was just beginning. There would be trials ahead, new challenges to overcome, wonders to discover. But as Dr. Zixella looked at Sarah, seeing in her the indomitable spirit of her entire species, the alien researcher felt a profound sense of optimism. Humanity had not just survived their death world. They had thrived on it. And now, with the whole universe open to them, there was no telling what they might achieve. The resilience that had fascinated a group of alien scientists would now shape the future of the galaxy itself. As the first stars began to twinkle in the darkening sky, Dr. Zixella realized that their mission had evolved into something far greater than they had ever imagined. They had come to study humanity, but in the end, humanity had taught them about adaptability, about determination, and about the incredible potential that lies within every sentient being, no matter how challenging their origins. The bridge between two worlds was built, and across that bridge, hand in hand, or tentacle in hand, humans and aliens would walk together into a future bright with possibility.